What's going on, everyone? Talen here, and welcome to another Marvel Future Fight video. Alright, so in this one here, we're going to be taking a look at Dr. Voodoo, and we're going to be taking him up against Galactus. So, finally got him to level 70, so that means it is time to take him up against the Devourer of Worlds, because that's pretty much what I do for any character that I get to level 70. I like to try him out against Galactus and see how they kind of stack up there. And also, it's a good test to see how much damage they do without strikers, all defense down, and stuff like that. Just raw damage. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at his build here before we hop into the gameplay of him versus Galactus. For his gears here, we have the first gear leveled up to 22 and the last gear leveled up to 25. And you can probably guess what that is for. I'll give you a hint here by clicking on the first gear. What does this first gear have that I need that I don't have enough of? It is ignore defense. And yes, yeah, sorry I keep mentioning the ignore defense thing. It just kind of bugs me that I always have to keep putting ignore defense on them. And it's mainly because I've re-rolled cards so many times and they just refuse to roll for any kind of good stats. So we need to change the card RNG here because it is pretty bad. I've got my inventory full of really good cards that just will not roll to good stats. For the skills here, we have everything leveled up except for the second skill to level 6. So I'll maxed out all of these because all of them give you a little something, whether it be the summon, all attack, or all defense down. And then the isolate set, we have Power of Angry Hulk, and we have it at stage 6, so just regular isolate on him, not awakened. And then the custom gear here is actually going to be a CTP. So I did put a CTP of energy on him, just because I really liked how Dr. Voodoo played in the beta. So I figure I'll give him a really good, CTP here so that I can take advantage of him on my main account. So that's why I put a CTP of energy on him. And yeah, that's what he's looking like. Let's take a quick look at the details here. So the details, we have almost maxed attack speed, our crit rate a little bit low, our crit damage is pretty good, ignore defense, close enough to cap, 48%. We have a little bit of ignore dodge from the CTP. And then our skill cooldown, oh, it's only at 44%. I did not realize that. Skill cooldown's pretty low. I need to get that bumped up. So I guess he didn't have skill cooldown natively on any of his gears here. I don't think it affected the gameplay too much, but when I rewatched the clip and I do my voiceover of the Galactus fights, I'll be able to take a closer look and see if that skill cooldown actually did affect anything. So yeah, now that I've got that in mind, let's go ahead and hop over to the Galactus clip and see how we performed and how we did against Galactus. Alright, so here we are at the fight. We've got two random teammates here to help us out. We've got a tier 3 Captain Marvel, and then we have a guy with some level 64s and a level 70 Sharon, not tier 3, so just a tier 2 Sharon Rogers, so I don't really expect him to be doing too much, but the Captain Marvel should be able to help us out here. The team that I decided to go with is She-Hulk for leadership, and then we have Shuri for her tier 2 passive and support, and then of course Voodoo there as our DPS that we're testing out. So Voodoo does have really good damage. A lot of it does come from the all defense down being applied though. So here at Galactus, you're not going to have that apply, so we're going to see that his damage is going to be quite a bit less than you might expect when you see him kind of, his showing at World Boss Ultimate, because World Boss Ultimate he does do quite well because of the all defense down, but he still does quite well here against Galactus, so his base damage is pretty nice, or his raw damage in this case without any debuffs to help out here. The CTP of energy does really well on him just because of all the chain hits, so that could be part of it. Maybe with an obelisk you might expect to see quite a bit less damage, but for now Voodoo has been performing pretty well for me. So we can see here that Galactus's health is just kind of melting down here. It's just consistently going down. I'm not sure what that Captain Marvel had. I don't know if she has the CTP of Rage, if she has Destruction, Energy, or what, but actually no, he's using the cable, not the Captain Marvel. I just realized that right now. So did the Captain Marvel already die? Oh no, he just switched over. Oh, and I was just checking right here. So as you can see, our damage is pretty good. We're doing 33% of the damage, so we're pretty close to keeping up with that guy, but he was using cable for a lot of that at the start there, so I'm not sure why he switched. But anyway, we've got Voodoo here, and basically the rotation that I'm using for Voodoo is pretty much the same rotation I would use in World Boss Ultimate, and that is going to be to use the 5th skill, and then we'll show it right here, use the 5th skill, wait for that kind of sigil on the ground, and then I hop into the 3rd skill, and I let 3 skulls appear, and then after the 3rd skull has appeared, I hop into the 4th skill, and then you have all of the damage from the 5th skill starting up. And oh, we got clipped right there by the beams of Galactus. I don't remember that happening. But anyway, and then you have all of the kind of extra effects that trigger while the 4th skill is going on, so you take advantage of all those chain hits and extra damage. So that's when you can see kind of the extra damage melting there. So now we need to make sure that we don't die, though, because taking that hit there from those beams kind of severely hindered us. We're down to only like 20% of our HP left here. Oh, and of course I have this, so I'm going to run in there and, yeah, almost died. 350 HP left. I didn't remember how close it was. We almost got killed there, but you do heal back all of that damage that you take from walking into Galactus or whatever, having Dr. Strange nullify him. So now we're just going to stand here in our safe little bubble, let the attack go by, and then continue our onslaught here. And it looks like he's now using the Captain Marvel. The Captain Marvel doesn't seem to be hitting very hard. Maybe that's just me. Trying to watch here. Oh no, yeah, she's doing pretty good. Trying to see how much this damage is actually from Voodoo, because Voodoo is performing quite well. So I think he's going to be a pretty good candidate for another giant boss raid clear if you do need another one. I do have kind of pretty good leadership here with She-Hulk, and then of course we are using support, so he is going to need kind of some team-ups to be able to beat Galactus, or to kind of do a reasonable amount of damage to Galactus here, so that you're not being too much of a a hindrance to your team there, so you're actually pulling your own weight. Look at me trying to get in there with that Captain Marvel. I'm surprised I didn't get clipped by any of those. I always get clipped whenever I try to sneak in a little bit of damage there when Galactus is using that attack. And I don't know what that guy's doing there. He's just like running around in a circle. He's probably like, hey, your Voodoo is a little bit better than I thought. I thought I was going to have to carry this entire fight here, but you're actually doing damage. I get that a lot, actually. For some of the fights, I'm always surprised when some characters do actual damage that I don't really expect to be doing as much damage as they are. And then also I feel like the same thing happens when I'm using like one of my random level 70s that I'm either testing out, or I know can do, oh, he lost a character there, or I know can do some damage, and you know, my teammates don't think so. They're always surprised when I end up getting like half the damage, or like a third of the damage, or, you know, 40% damage, something like that. So there we go. I finally decided to switch to heal up a little bit. As you can see, we're still keeping up there. We've fallen a little bit behind, but I think he ended up losing his cable. So yeah, so now he's just got his Captain Marvel. So we should be good to go though, because there's 30 bars left and we just got below the halfway mark. So we're well on pace to be able to clear Galactus with the current amount of damage that we've outputted in the first half of the fight. So now we just need to make sure, and there you go. You can see the damage proc from the 4th skill happening right there after we've got all of our stuff active. Actually did about 2 bars of damage to Galactus there. I'm not sure if Captain Marvel is attacking at that exact moment, but that's right when our damage proc went off, and I saw about 2 bars go down. So yeah, Voodoo is hitting pretty good, so I'm quite happy with how Voodoo is performing so far. He seems to be pretty good in all kind of PvE game modes. So he can do GBR, he can do World Boss Ultimate to a high level. He's got pretty good survivability. It wouldn't be you almost see it, as he almost gets one-shotted right there. I'm like, he has pretty good survivability. Galactus just punches him and he dies. I mean, what were you saying about that survivability? But anyway, he's got, like I was trying to say there, pretty good survivability, but it'd be even better if that 4-star passive, the heal that he has there, would actually work. Because you have to poison an enemy to get that passive to trigger, but most of the fights that you're going to be using them in PvE content, you're not going to be poisoning the enemy, because GBR here, you can't poison them. In World Boss Ultimate, you can't poison them. The only place you're really going to be benefiting from that is in Shadowland. In Shadowland, Voodoo does more than enough damage and has more than enough AoE and hits on his skills that you don't really need that heal, because you're not really going to be getting hits. You're pretty much going to be stun locking the enemies the entire time. So I kind of would like it if they would change that. Either have his poison damage have the same tag as like the all defense down and say the ignores immunity thing, so that his poison damage can apply to War Boss Ultimate. That would be one way to fix it. The other way is just have it activate when he gets below a certain amount of health, just like a lot of other characters. So like when he's below 80% HP, he gets that, what is it? I don't even remember how much of a heal it is. I think it was kind of small. What is it, 10% heal? He gets that 10% heal every 5 seconds if he's below 80% HP or something like that, you know? Because they put that heal there, but it just seems so useless because you can never get it to activate. If they never put the heal there in the first place, I mean, I wouldn't really be complaining about this because, you know, I wouldn't be expecting to get a heal, but I would kind of like to see that heal since I see it there on his 4-star passive. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about that. About his heal, if you think that it needs to be, or how you think it needs to be changed. If you think it needs to be changed, I mean, it probably, I guess, can still work in PvP, but I don't know, not really many people are going to be using Dr. Voodoo in PvP, so yeah, I don't know, just my kind of side thoughts there on his skills. And also, it'd be nice if some of his skills actually did do poison damage, because even the skill that does the poison damage to have his 4-star passive trigger, I think it's just an effect written on the skill similar to characters that apply like burn damage over time or shock damage over time. This is just applies poison damage over time. It doesn't actually modify or change the type of damage that his skill's doing. So it's not like skill does 100 and some percent poison damage based off your energy attack stat. No, it doesn't say anything like that. It's just like a dot damage kind of thing almost, where it just triggers and then just ticks away at the enemy. So yeah, I don't know, I think they should change that around a little bit. But anyway, we're finally towards the end of the fight here. We're getting down to the last minute, so it's taking the entire time to do it, but there we go. Galactus is down. Voodoo was able to get through it, but let's see how much of the damage he actually did. It looks like he probably did about 40% of the damage. Yep, there we go, 40% of the damage, 27 million, so he is right there to doing a third of the damage. So I would say that Dr. Voodoo can do World Boss Ultimate. He can do Galactus just fine because that is a third of the damage, and that's kind of the criteria that I go to. So any character that can do a third of the damage, I am okay with saying can do World Boss or can do a Giant Boss Raid. So yeah, that's going to be Dr. Voodoo here versus Galactus. I hope you guys enjoyed, and of course I will catch you in the next one.